I don't know why I'm here. By every indication, I'm exactly the person identified not to be invited to this conference. If you read the J newspaper, which if we have the audience here that organizers want, you didn't, then you would have read a line by Peretz Wolf-Trusan that he, quote, wanted to create an environment for voices that don't normally get invited to conferences. He continued, there's no keynote speaker, no panel of experts. When asked why he didn't invite professional futurists, our organizer said, they're usually wrong. Good afternoon. I'm Marc Dollinger, and I'm an expert, a many-time keynote speaker on questions of Jewish identity, and I suppose a professional futurist. My academic and communal credentials point to a person who is not an ordinary Jew, as it's being defined here today. I serve as a Richard and Rhoda Goldman Chair in Jewish Studies and Social Responsibility at San Francisco State University. I have served as board president of Brandeis Hillel Day School, vice president of the Bureau of Jewish Education and URJ Camp Newman. Right now I am the academic affairs vice president of Lehrhaus Judaica, as well as a member of the executive committee of the Jewish Community High School of the Bay, and I still don't know why I'm here. My subject for today is the future of Jewish organizations, since I'm heavily involved in them, and I'm concerned about their future. I wonder how synagogues and JCCs and other communal groups led by not ordinary Jews can grow and thrive in the generations to come. We have faced in the last generation a profound demographic shift in American Jewish life, and especially here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Intermarriage rates where I live in Marin County are 75%, which is actually artificially low. Adjusted for age, it's actually 90% for families with young children. The late Gary Tobin of Buffalo Oshman offered a biting critique of Jewish organized life when he asked what percentage of American Jewish families were traditional, which he defined as a mom and a dad, neither ever divorced, both born Jewish, with children who were not adopted. The answer, 5%. And that's a national number. We can only imagine how much lower that percentage is here in the Bay Area. Yet, as Gary would reflect, our organization's leadership are overpopulated with these not ordinary Jews, part of these 5%, who bring all their assumptions and biases to the table, designing strategic plans and programs that mirror their own Jewish realities rather than the lives of almost all the Jews in their communities. For our Jewish organizations to succeed in the generations to come, their leadership has to get real with reality. And since groupthink tends to encourage folks to continue thinking the same way and believing falsely that they are right, we have a double challenge ahead of us. Bring in new voices to leadership, while we hold a mirror to the established leadership to let them know their inherent bias. Except that things are not always as they appear. And the narrative I just described is deceiving, if not just plain wrong. Categories are tricky things, and the process by which we categorize can be dangerous in our future planning. I actually hope I know why I was invited. I hope that even though I'm a conventional expert or organizer, hope for some non-conventional thoughts from me. Today's meeting is about telling personal stories of our Jewish journeys. Here's mine. I'm about the least typical expert you could imagine. Raised with 3 siblings in the Reform movement in a suburb of Los Angeles, I experienced exactly what the organized Jewish community planned for its youth. Sunday school, a bar mitzvah, the high school summer trip to Israel. And in a pattern repeated so many times in the last generation, when it came time to get married, 2 of my siblings intermarried, while 2 of us did not. And to make it even more confusing, I was the only one who married someone Jewish. How could there be only 2 intermarriages when 3 of us married Christians? Because one of my sisters, whom I love and adore, converted to Christianity before her marriage. Of my parents' 4 kids, we have one Jewish family, another Christian, and 2 Jewish Christian. God bless America. We have integrated ourselves so successfully that the same parents that raised a Jewish studies professor who appears so darn conventional also raised a Christian convert. And it extends as well along what society describes as racial lines. Of my parents' 9 grandchildren, there are my 2 daughters, definitely part of that elusive 5%, and the only ones. When we head to LA for Passover, and I should say when we head to LA for Passover at Bubby and Zadie's house, our table includes 2 nieces born in China who were adopted, 2 other nieces who are Latina, another niece, a Christian, who married an African-American man, and blessed our family with its first great-grandchild, our beloved Adam of all names. So much of our discourse and our conversation today focuses on difference, on marginality, on the ways so many of us here today just don't seem to fit the classic definition of a Jew. They demand that our Jewish communal organizations respond to them, to their realities, and to the demographic changes that are bringing all these categories of Jews more into the mainstream. I am here to tell you that it's not just them. It's not about the inside group recognizing the outside group and letting them in. Instead, it's about getting real with the fact that the inside group is also the outside group. We have met the enemy, and they are indeed us. Perhaps in some parts of the country, there is an inside group that counts itself far above Dr. Tobin's 5%. Maybe they can run their organizations, make their assumptions about program based upon whatever Jewish is supposed to mean. But certainly here in the San Francisco Bay Area, where our demographics demand that we pay closer attention sooner to what it means and does not mean to be Jewish, we cannot afford to wait. While New York City has been and remains the demographic and organizational center of American Jewish life, it is San Francisco and the West, forced or inspired by the realities of our unconventional and poorly defined Jewish community, that leads the way. As the decades progress, communities to the east will wake up to discover a whole lot of Jewish families with non-Jewish spouses, synagogues challenged to attract and retain member families, and a generation or more of youth who would care more deeply about Jewish organizations if only they could find Jewish organizations of relevance to them. I was joking at the opening. I actually know exactly why I was invited here today. I'm here to complicate your narrative in yet another way, to turn assumptions about the center upside down so that you will hopefully understand and appreciate that a Jewish studies professor does indeed give thanks to Jesus for the gifts he gave to his family.